always keep the main thing, and who better than to discuss that than the man himself. Welcome to Playing the Field. I'm your host, Ryan Field, from ABC here in New York. Joined now, as always, by Jen Matarese, Gina Sirico, our Bachelor insiders and our Bachelor experts. One in L.A., one in New York. I am coming to you via Zoom somewhere in Manhattan, and I am joining you on my birthday, which I have the day off of work, but I am making a special exception for our special guest. Sam is here, and we can't be more excited about that. What's going on, bro?
What's up, you guys? First off, thanks for having me. Second, Ryan, happy birthday, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this right here. I feel honored, man. I feel honored.
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, the pleasure is all mine. I speak for Gina and Jen. We would not miss this one.
No.
You have been one of our favorite characters for a lot of reasons in the Bachelor franchise, and I just want to know, first and foremost, what's going on? How much has your life changed since this whole experience? And based on what we've seen on Instagram, it looks like things are going real well for you right now, my friend.
Yeah, man. You know what? Things are going great. I couldn't be happier. I think with where I'm at in terms of my love life. I obviously didn't find it on the show, but you know, I didn't necessarily find it on the show. I kind of did, so I'm sure we'll maneuver through that a little bit. But I'm thankful for that right there. Yeah, man, life is freaking sweet right now, so no complaints out of me.
So we were fortunate enough to talk to Alli Jo this past week, and she was just saying the sweetest things about you. So if you could tell us, what is it that you like so much about her?
I think she's just very intentional. I also love that she has a very strong personality, a very strong voice. You can just tell that she's gonna says things like she sees it, like she means it, and I love that because I think that's very rare in today's world. I think, as the whole world knows, I'm definitely somebody that's gonna call it like I see it as well. So I think it just opens up the door for such trustworthy and valuable communication that it just makes things tough to beat whenever you can be so thoroughly honest with each other. Plus, I think most of our lives and the things that we hold truest and dearest to ourselves, they all align, you know, like the importance of family, the importance for always wanting more, wanting a better life than the way that we've got it right now. It's the little things like that. I think when you can get those to align and both be very open in your communication, it just opens up the door for such a successful relationship. And I feel like that's kind of what we're working towards right now.
That's great.
Yeah, you know, she told us the same thing about you, that, you know, you are also very intentional in how you speak and how you speak to her, and that you guys have also had some of those important conversations. So talk to us a little bit about, like, you know, this didn't happen on camera, which I feel like may be better for you. I feel like that worked in your favor. Do you feel that as well?
I think there's pros and cons to everything. I think that the good Lord probably protected her and myself from maybe all of this unfolding on camera. Maybe we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have some of the conversations that we've had behind closed doors. So I think there's probably a little bit of a blessing in disguise there, probably one that we can't see, because obviously we were both bummed to not cross paths on Paradise. But you can't cry about it. You either just make it happen, you know, or you sit and you sulk in what could have been. So I think there's probably a little bit of a bittersweet feeling right there. But ultimately, I think both of us are very happy to kind of be where we're at right now and to have had the conversations that we've had without a camera in front of our face or, you know, a mic strapped to our chest. So definitely pros and cons to all of it, but I think ultimately her and I are both probably winning in the long game right now.
You know, leave it to Jen and Gina to ask about the mushy stuff. I just want to keep the main thing, dude, and get down to business here.
Let's do it.
Do you feel vilified now after this journey on Jen's season, and now you redeemed yourself, I feel like, in a lot of ways on Paradise, and now you've got this, as Jen and Gina correctly point out, this evolving love story that we're all watching on social media. Do you feel like you come out smelling like roses in all of this when it's all said and done?
Hell no. I definitely don't feel like that. But to be honest with you, man, like I really just don't care. I mean, anybody that wants to if anybody wants to believe everything that they see on TV, and it's really funny right now because what I went through a year ago, every dude on Paradise right now is going through the same thing. Maybe not to the highest of extent, but I know that Jonathan is catching heat. I know that Spencer is catching heat. Jeremy is getting absolutely flamed right now. And both of them are saying, or all of them are saying the exact same things that I said a year ago. You know, I was bitching about the edit. I was complaining about this, complaining about that. There's just ways around it. I know all of them. I know all of them outside of the show, and I think that it's probably different than what most other people know as well. It doesn't make all of us perfect. It just makes all of us maybe different than what America might know. So honestly, man, anybody that wants to believe everything that they see, so be it. I also think it opens up the door to it kind of being special, especially between Alli Jo and I. I love that the whole world thinks that I'm something that I'm not. And behind closed doors, she's like, wow, you know, I can just continue to, I think, catch her off guard with my sincerity and my genuineness. And as for, you know, her with me, but I love that the world has an idea about me, but she knows me behind closed doors. And I just think that makes our relationship that much more intimate. So to be honest with you, I don't really care about the way that anybody has to view me. It just is what it is. Anytime that we ever have a conversation in person, if you know me, if you know anybody that knows me, they'll all say something that is completely opposite of what the world from, you know, the TV world knows me as. And that's just kind of how I'm going to stick it. That's my main thing right there, man. And keeping the main thing is me being kind and genuine and polite and being that person in front of your face and taking responsibility and accountability in the areas that I can. But the things that I can't control, like, some of the edit, dog, it just is what it is, man. I can't control it, so I'm not going to cry about it. I've learned to kind of solidify in who I am, and I'm just going to rock with it, you know, from there on. If you don't like me, cool. I'm not losing any sleep about it. But now I'm thankful that Alli Jo is kind of giving me maybe a little ounce of credibility that people are like, okay, maybe this guy isn't nearly as bad as what we all thought he was. If she's dating him and she's happy, this guy can't be as bad as what we all thought he was a year ago. So, yeah, there's, I guess it feels good a little bit. I just don't put a lot of energy into it.
So you guys have been dating, Alli Jo said, for about 4 months. And, it's relatively early on and you guys are doing the long distance thing. How long do you foresee, if things continue to go really, really well, doing long distance? And have you talked about plans for the future and maybe where you'd like to live and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, we made it official between her and I. 7/11 is the day that I asked her to actually be my girlfriend, and I think it was important. I think it was important because she's 31, I'm 28. Our clocks are all different, and especially if you want to have kids, you want to be intentional with everything. You don't want to waste any more time. So I think that very quickly we got some of the big things out of the way. The first time I went down there, she didn't know if we were even compatible. I knew that, at least I felt like I knew that, and I wasn't wrong about it, but we wanted to see if we could get along. A couple weeks later, she flew to me and she met my family. My family is obviously extremely important to me. A couple weeks went by and I flew back to her and met her family and stuff. So we were able to kind of cross the big things out of the way in terms of making sure that, hey, this was something that we wanted to try and do. Our families got along. We all got along. So now it's kind of one of those things, there's never a perfect time for anything.
Mm-hmm.
We both discussed that it's not easy. It's not easy being 1,000 miles away from each other and trying to make things happen, especially when she's got a busy schedule. Like right now, she's not even home. She's in New Jersey, and this weekend I'll be in North Carolina. So it's like so much easier to do things whenever we obviously live together. But I think that there will be a time where right now we're enjoying what we're doing right now, but we both know that we're going to get to a point where it's like, hey, we got to do something right here. Like if this is serious, if you're serious about me, which I am, and she's serious about me, then we'll obviously make things happen. I think whatever's going to make the most financial sense is probably what we'll do. I do think in the long run, we probably won't be in Florida and we probably won't be in South Carolina. I think the life that I could live with her is, it could take me anywhere, and I don't really care just as long as she's right next to me.
Aw. I feel like, just so you know, I know Ryan mentioned like, oh yeah, Jen and Gina are bringing up the mushy stuff. We look at it as we're two big sisters looking after little sister to make sure the new boyfriend is good.
Hey, listen, I've got two sisters.
The energy we're giving here.
Listen, I get it. I get it. I've got a twin sister and an older sister, so thank goodness I've had a little bit of teaching in my 28 years. So yeah, I respect it highly.
Fair enough. So let me ask you, Ryan brought up last season and Jen's season. So tell me what you feel like you've learned about yourself from your time on that show to now in this relationship with Alli Jo. Or have you learned, or what's been the growth from then to now?
Yeah, I think what I had to switch up in my mind, that vulnerability is such a strength and not a weakness. Me going to Jen's season, I was 8 months out of a failed engagement. Obviously, I'm a very intentional person. So if I was going to go to the distance to get proposed to somebody, then clearly I saw, my future with them. Things didn't pan out. And I think the life that I've always lived, especially even being an older brother, I've kind of had to make sure everybody else was good before I could really take care of myself a little bit. And in that situation, I got kind of stepped on and had to learn that sometimes it's okay to lay down for a second and like process the situation and process the pain, and it doesn't make you weak. And I think that's kind of the stigma in today's culture with men, is that, hey, you can't cry, you can't lay down, you just got to get back up and you got to keep, persevering forward. The reality of it is, though, is that you don't process the emotions behind that situation and what it has done to you, and it will change you. And I think that you got to make sure that whenever you are ready to step into another relationship, you don't want to bleed on somebody that didn't cut you. And I think that was probably the biggest thing for me on the show, is the way that I thought I was going about my healing process of that was like, hey, I'll just keep going. It is what it is. It happens to everybody else too. It just is what it is. It wasn't healthy, and it didn't allow me to be as vulnerable and as open as I wanted to be. So once that gets exposed under a microscope like national television, it made it easy really for me to take a step back and really focus on fixing that right there and making sure that I just changed my perception of vulnerability, that there's such power in vulnerability and it's not a weakness at all, because vulnerability is the type of love that I want. And it's just allowed me to be more open, especially now meeting Alli Jo. I'm just kind of going with it, and saying she says it to me all the time. She's like, you just say stuff that I'd never expect from you. And she's like, I know people that have dated for years and they don't even say the things that you say. And I'm like, it's just me. And you either like me or love me, or you don't at all. And if you don't at all, that's totally fine. But that's what is, I think, allowed us to kind of flourish as quickly as we had and have those difficult conversations, because I've learned that vulnerability is it's a strength, not a weakness.
So, Sam, was that part of your motivation to come back to Bachelor in Paradise, to kind of save face and give people perhaps a different impression of you than what they saw in Jen's season?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I felt like I owed something to my friends, my family, my community, all these people that stuck their neck out for me whenever I was, my name was getting dragged through the mud, watching all of this back. I mean, I would go to work and there's people that I hadn't seen in 2 years or 3 years that I'd built a home for, were like, oh, Sam, I was fighting with this old lady in the comments for you. And I'm just like, there's a level of accountability that I had to take with all of that, because you don't know what you don't know. And once you play a game one time, you learn to play it a little bit better the next go round.
Well, listen, dude, one thing we can appreciate about you is that you have always been true to yourself, and we have seen you keep the main thing, whether people like it or what if they don't. And we appreciate your candidness here today. Final question. I know you got to go. Have you spoken to Devin since the show, and do you have any relationship with him whatsoever?
He actually commented on my Paradise picture. He just like snuck out of the woods and commented on my Paradise picture. And now it's been nice because I just kind of turned him over to, to my followers, and they all started roasting him themselves. So I didn't really have to do anything. I think he made a comment. He made a comment supporting Brian on Bachelor at Windmills post. And I had been drinking a little bit. I was with Alli Jo, and I saw that he commented supporting Brian, who was being a total douche to Parisa, which I didn't like. And I had some choice words for him, and it opened up the door to a whole little thing. But he knows I got the best of him in that one right there. But outside of that, no, I do not speak. Like I said, I'm going to keep the main thing the main thing. The person you see here is the person you will always get, and that's what I'm going to always stay true to.
And you know what, man?
I think we all learned from your season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we all learned from your season, basically, that like things aren't always what they seem, but you're keeping the main thing the main thing. So.
Keep the main thing the main thing. Listen, dude, thanks for taking
this. So funny.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out today, and really best of luck with you and Alli Jo. We're so excited for you, and hopefully we can talk to you again here down the road. That'd be great.
Absolutely, brother. Man, happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, dude.
For both having me. Thank you for all you guys having me. I really appreciate it.
You were great. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Man. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, brother. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, bye, y'all.
Thanks, Sam.
Of course.
Well, he's clearly one of my favorite characters in this franchise, and maybe you guys are warming up to him as well after that interview.
I think Alli Jo warmed me up to him.
Character, by the way.
He's a real person.
He's a real person, you know.
But they are characters in our story of Bachelor in Paradise,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Character in the series.
And also you could say he's a real character, right?
Yes. Well said. He is a real character. Well, listen, I think the thing I like most about him is that he is transparent. He is not phony. He keeps it real. And he's like, take it or leave it. If you don't like me, too bad. And I think there's something to be said a lot about that in today's society where people are two-faced and talking about you behind your back and whatever. But this guy is true to himself. And I think his brutal honesty almost rubbed people the wrong way in a lot of respects. And frankly, as I know it did for you two, his cockiness in a lot of situations. But I do think that he has really kind of done a 180 in terms of people's perceptions of him going back to Jen's season and that whole spat with Devin.
Look at Jen's personality and then look at Alli Jo's personality and think about how those fit in with his. I think that Alli Jo just naturally is a better fit for him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I do. But what's funny is that, when we talk to Alli Jo, she's like, we're always go, and go, always, go-getters. And then Sam, she said, kind of like lets her kind of like be low key, and you don't have to always do, wear your makeup or your heels or whatever. I just like you for you. And that's more of what, like, the thing that I do like about him. Yes, fine. To let her be herself. Let your partner be yourself in the relationship, and they don't have to like do anything. They can just be themselves and own themselves, and that's great.
I thought you were saying like, oh, fine, I'll just like him a little bit finally.
That's what I thought.
I mean, you can't help it, right? I mean, he's a fun guy, and I really do like them together as a couple. I think they complement each other.
Yeah, and she's 3 years older, 31 and 28.
It's good for him, I think.
Yes, it is. And I guess my final question to you two, knowing so much about Bachelor Nation and couples that work out and don't work out, are we confident about the future between Sam and Alli Jo?
I think so. I mean, if you listen to what she said and you listen to the way he was talking, it sounds like they're talking about their futures. They're planning for things. And I really hope all of that works out how they want it to. You never know what life will throw at you, but it sounds like if things continue on the path they're on, we could be looking at a Bachelor success story.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is funny because there are so many times we've seen that when, that relationships, will start after the show or beyond the show, and and it's worked out better in that way. So hopefully that's the case for them. Hopefully they can continue on this good path. I mean, to his point, it really has. I mean, they've made it official since it's only been about a month. But they've been talking and all of that for 4, I believe she said. So, yeah. I mean, good for them. And let's meet at this time next year and we'll see where they're at. And hopefully it's all good.
It'd be cool.
What a Bachelor love story that would be. And what a 180 this has been, given to what we were talking about with Sam going back to last season on this podcast to a conversation we're having about it now.
Would you have ever guessed?
Never. Not in a million years. And Gina, I think you agree.
I absolutely agree. I would have never, after last season and after what we saw, I would have never thought that I would have actually had a 20-minute conversation with him like this. And then also that, we would be speaking about him in this positive light, because everyone was mad at him at that point, for all of that.
He gave very thoughtful answers too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
An ultimate Bachelor redemption
see what happens
story.
in a year.
Yes.
Yeah. How about that? If you like our podcast, what do you need to do, Jen?
Like and follow. And then wish Ryan a happy birthday.
You can do that as well. Leave that in the comments.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. What a present this has been, hanging with you guys today, and looking forward to our next episode. And thank you to all of our listeners and viewers joining us here on your favorite Bachelor podcast. For Jen and Gina, I'm the birthday boy. We will see you next time on Play in the Field.